It was a morning so still it felt like the world was holding its breath. The sun hung high over East Briarwood Park, casting sharp shadows across brick homes with matching shutters and manicured lawns. Sarah sipped her third coffee, her dark hair pulled into a messy bun, as she scrubbed streaks off the living room window. She hadn't planned to clean, but the light hit the glass wrong, and now she couldn't unsee the smudges. Out front, her husband, Michael, crouched by the curb, wrestling with a new mailbox. The old one was dented, a screw missing, and he'd grumbled for weeks that it made their house look off. Today, he was finally fixing it, toolbox open, new black posts gleaming beside him. East Briarwood Park was the kind of place where rules weren't just followed, they were worshipped. The HOA's newsletter was practically scripture, and its enforcers had eyes everywhere. Sarah and Michael weren't rebels. They paid dues on time, hid their trash bins, and kept the grass trimmed. Michael even skimmed the newsletter. But as Sarah wiped the window, a scream shattered the suburban hush, not frustration, not banter, but raw fear. Her clothes froze against the glass. Heart pounding, she sprinted to the door, bare feet slapping tile. Michael wasn't at the mailbox anymore. He was pinned against their black iron gate, the metal rattling under his weight. 3 strangers surrounded him, wearing navy polos with Community Safety Patrol stitched in white. One pressed a knee into Michael's back. Another twisted his arms like he was under arrest. The third stood back, arms crossed, watching like a coach. No badges, no cruisers, just 3 men acting like they owned the place. Sarah's voice cracked the air. "What are you doing?" "That's my husband." They didn't flinch. The one gripping Michael's arms barked. "Failure to comply with the HOA ordinance. Unauthorized modification." The third added, "Unsafe activity. We're authorized to intervene." Sarah's stomach twisted. This wasn't a mix-up. These men believed they had the right to restrain Michael over a mailbox. "You have no authority!" she shouted, stepping closer. The gate creaked as the man with the knee shifted. Michael groaned, his cheek pressed to the iron, fingers clenched. The sound of that creak would haunt Sarah. They weren't cops. No badges, no body cams, just polos and a plastic baton on the leader's belt. He barked orders like he'd rehearsed them, while the others held Michael down. Michael didn't fight, he could barely breathe. Sarah's sandals slapped the pavement as she ran from the porch. "He's installing a mailbox!" Her voice broke. The leader, tall and smug, cut her off. "He ignored 3 notices. This is corrective enforcement." Corrective enforcement? It sounded like dystopian nonsense, but it was real, happening on their lawn in broad daylight. The doorbell camera caught it all, Michael pinned, Sarah shouting, the men cold and confident behind their HOA logo. Neighbors' blinds twitched, but no one came out. A garage door closed. Sarah's hands shook, not from fear, but from the realization that no one would stop this. The police arrived too late. By then, the patrol was lounging under a neighbor's tree, sipping from a hose like they just mowed a lawn. Michael sat on the porch steps, blood on his lip, one hand clutching his ribs. Sarah stood beside him, glaring at the men. 2 officers stepped from their cruiser, calm and neutral. Sarah expected outrage, but the lead officer's tone was almost apologetic. "They're part of your HOA's Volunteer Enforcement Committee. This might be a civil matter." Sarah blinked. "Civil?" They cracked his rib over a mailbox. The officer shrugged, tired. "We can file a report, but you should go through your HOA board." Michael coughed, flinching, and Sarah's world tilted. No one was coming to fix this. Days blurred into shadows. Michael barely moved from the couch, wincing with every breath. Sarah stopped walking the dog, watering plants, or checking her phone. The footage spread through the neighborhood chat, but no one knocked or called. Neighbors avoided her gaze. One even crossed the street. Silence wasn't safety, it was complicity. Then, Tuesday morning, a knock. Sarah opened the door a crack. 2 of the same men stood there, clipboard in hand, acting like nothing had happened. "We're following up on your fence violation," one said smoothly. Sarah slammed the door, her pulse roaring. Something inside her hardened. They came back Thursday, filming her lawn with phones, zooming in on nothing, a screw, a shadow. One caught her watching through the window and smirked, raising his phone to record her. The message was clear: "We can do this anytime." Michael watched from the kitchen, hands shaking. Sarah touched his shoulder, then waited. That night, alone in the hallway, she opened the safe and pulled out her Glock 19. The weight was heavy, familiar. She didn't aim it, just held it, ready. Friday morning, 9:06 a.m., they returned. 3 of them, measuring tape and clipboard in hand, strolled onto her lawn like it was theirs. Sarah didn't hesitate. She retrieved the Glock, checked it, and stepped onto the porch barefoot, holding it low, finger off the trigger. "Get off my property," she said, voice steady. They turned, one chuckling. "This is an HOA inspection. We have legal." The shot exploded before he finished. Sarah fired once into the sky, the crack echoing off houses. Birds scattered. One man stumbled backward, another dropped his clipboard, and the smirker ran. Sarah lowered the Glock slightly, still not aiming. "Touch my husband again," she said, "and I swear to God." They scrambled off, eyes down, inspection forgotten. By evening, the footage was everywhere. A neighbor's clip hit a local Facebook group. "You won't believe what the HOA did on Maplewood." The doorbell video, Sarah's warning, the shot, the patrol's panic, went viral. Blogs, subreddits, then regional news. "Texas woman defends husband from fake HOA enforcers." Comments erupted, not mocking but furious, sharing stories of HOA overreach. Who trained these men? Why batons? What gave them the right to detain anyone? Sarah's lawyer filed a cease and desist, citing trespassing, harassment, and intimidation. The HOA board, cornered by news and officials, dissolved the patrol in a closed meeting. 2 men faced charges for impersonating law enforcement. One had a fake badge. Michael sued for physical and emotional harm. The neighborhood shifted. Neighbors nodded to Sarah, some apologizing quietly. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do." She didn't lecture, just nodded back. She wasn't just Michael's wife anymore, she was the woman who said enough. Weeks later, the air warmed, kids biked, and the mailbox stood proud, a quiet symbol. Michael healed, reading on the porch again, though his eyes sometimes lingered on the street. The Glock stayed in the safe, a boundary drawn. Sarah slept deeply, not because justice was perfect, but because she'd reclaimed her place. Neighbors spoke carefully. "You were braver than me, I'll speak up next time." Sarah didn't need their words. She knew she'd stand again if tested, and no one would dare try twice. What do you think? Was Sarah's stand justified, or did she go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about where the line is when rules turn into overreach. Share this story if it hit home, and let's keep the conversation going.